A ton of veteran running backs changing teams. Frank Gore signed a one-year deal with Miami yesterday. His 12 straight seasons with 1,200 scrimmage yards is the longest streak in the NFL. Like Gore, Bruiser LeGarrette Blount signed a one-year deal and is headed to Detroit, so we know who's going to win the Super Bowl this year. Blount has won with the Pats in 2016 and the Eagles last year. Dion Lewis heads to Tennessee, bringing some versatility to the Titans' backfield. Despite his 5'8" frame, Lewis averaged the most yards after contact per rush in the NFL in 2017. Out in Oakland, the Raiders signed Doug Martin, who was released by the Bucs after 6 years in Tampa. An interesting backfield in Oakland with Marshawn Lynch still there. And the Giants' run game needed a boost, so GM Dave Gettleman grabbed veteran Jonathan Stewart. Stewart spent his first 10 seasons in Carolina and is the franchise's all-time leading rusher. Take a look at the backs. A lot of running backs on the move right now. Isaiah Crowell, Jeremy Hill, Carlos Hyde, Chris Ivory, Jerick McKinnon. So there we go. Ryan, as we look at all of these backs, welcome into the Verizon Film Room. Who stands out to you in that group?
Well, you know, what I look at is not necessarily the player, but some of the teams. You look at the Giants, the Browns, the Jets. All teams we know will be looking to get quarterbacks early on in the draft, so they miss out on the can't-miss prospect at running back, Saquon Barkley. So you go and get some veterans that can fill that role, some veterans that can run the ball, add to your rush game, because you know early on in the draft you won't get that high-pick running back and will have to go later. So get a guy that's a known commodity that you know you can count on during the season.
Dan, which running back has the biggest impact of the group we just saw?
I'm looking at Jerick McKinnon in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan in that offense. And a young quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo who's going to be looking for the check down when things do get rough inevitably, although maybe for Jimmy G they never will at the rate
Will he ever lose a game?
But I think this is a perfect back for the Kyle Shanahan system. I think he can do a number of things for them. He went out and got him. They paid him well. And I think this is someone you can expect to see featured prominently in the 49ers offense this coming season.
You know, Jack, last year, the Detroit Lions' short yardage running game was throwing the football. They had no short yardage running game. The reality was between Amir Abdullah, Theo Riddick, Zach Zenner, Dwayne Washington, there was no back that threatened a defense with power and blunt force trauma, which is LeGarrette Blount's nickname, of course. One-year deal. And he's the kind of guy, see what I did there? He's the kind of guy that probably is always, you know, he has been at his best when he's had these one-year prove it, continue to earn it type deals. Gets $2 million in base value, another $2.5 million available in incentives. He's the kind of guy that in the fourth quarter, if you have a lead, defenders don't want to see it. Not defensive linemen, because he's not that much smaller than defensive linemen. Not linebackers, he's the same size as them. And definitely not defensive backs. LeGarrette Blount, a finisher, and obviously great at the goal line.
The hammer, baby. In the Super Bowl, he was, too.
Yes.
A look at the most productive running backs for players who began 2017 with a different team. Baltimore's Alex Collins came close to 1,000 yards, while beast mode turned on the Jets in the second half. Latavius Murray stepped in nicely for Dalvin Cook, and we mentioned LeGarrette Blount won a Super Bowl in Philly. Josh Allen, pro day workout. We'll see if he can break that deep ball record. That rocket arm will be on display when we come back. Workout in entirety next.